Hi everyone, I'm Mark Ames. Welcome to 5 on the Frontline, produced by AIHA. This week we're exploring one gym manager's journey to reopen during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our guests are Rick Schimenek and Abby Ferri. Rich is the Director of Strength and Conditioning at Trois Training, where he's been for the past 9 years, working with high school and college athletes in central Minnesota. Abby is a practical, creative, and influential safety and risk management consultant, podcaster, and author. She leverages social media, voice, and the latest technology to advocate for worker safety and equity. Her years in construction prepared her for any industry, and her innovative approach has impacted thousands of workers, students, and safety peers worldwide. Rich and Abby, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Rich, you faced a moment of crisis with the pandemic, closing and then successfully reopening your gym. Take us back to that moment and tell us what you did.
So being in central Minnesota, we got the executive order from our governor at the beginning of March, where it was a 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And I think that's what everybody was working with at that point. Well, 2 weeks had another 2 weeks added to it, which then turned into 2 months. And we realized that we had some work to do if we wanted our athletes to feel safe to be back to the gym. So I sat down, I wanted to get something on paper for our weight room, and I didn't know where to start. So I reached out to a couple people in my life. I have Jill Stuber, who's been a client of mine for the past 10 years. She works in the food safety industry, and Abby, my sister, works in the construction safety industry. And we got something down, went through a few revisions of it, and I finally felt comfortable to where we could put it out and see how people would react to it. So I shared it on our Facebook site, and we got some parents that saw it and were happy with what we had. Abby shared it on LinkedIn. I got a lot of good feedback from that. And by the time another executive order came down at the end of May, we were able to turn it around. The executive order came out on a Friday, and we were able to open on Monday from all the work that we had done beforehand to be ready to open back up. And because our opening went so well, I wanted other gyms in our area to reopen too, because I figured the more eyes that were around town, the less eyes that were staring at us. So I've got some friends that are local gym owners or managers. I shared our plan with them. I shared it with some local high schools. That went really well also. So I figured, why not get this out even more and help other people around? I've got a lot of contacts on social media that I keep up with. So I shared it with a lot of gym owners there. And it ended up making it to 12 states and 3 different countries. And the nice thing about that is being one of the first places to open in our area, we're busier than ever. You know, there was no high schools that were open. There was no other gyms that were open right away. We were the first at the end of May. So we were the only outlet for a lot of kids to go to because there wasn't anything there. And it's been great ever since. And now we're in September. I think this is our 4th month open since the lockdown. And this is the busiest fall I've ever had. So it's been awesome for us.
Wow, fantastic. Congratulations. Abby, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a safety consultant, my world was turned upside down. My usual tools were basically taken away. And so that also made it difficult to market myself. So I realized quickly that I needed to use our company's COVID planning as marketing. So I'm glad my brother took that advice as well. And I was happy to share what he had come up with. I think it was great. And I'm really happy they were able to reopen so quickly.
Awesome. Tips for other folks on the reopening journey from your experiences?
I think the big part was sharing the information with everybody, because I'm a firm believer that the rising tide lifts all ships. And I think in order for our business and industry, the fitness industry, to survive and thrive, we have to be willing to put that information out there for each other to use.
Yeah, the storytelling is really powerful, and it allows your clients to know that you're on the same journey as well. And so I think that helps with seeing that you're human and that the business is still running and it's a safe place to go to.
Absolutely. Those are super important points. That is pretty much all the time we have today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thanks to everyone for joining us. This has been 5 on the Front Line. I'm Mark Ames. We'll see you next week.